What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the 411 podcast. It's freestyle sessions tonight. So if you want to talk to me, text me at 609-738-0611, or you can request me live on Instagram. You can request me live on TikTok as well. What's going on, Will? How you doing out there tonight? So, song of the day, Say So, featuring JoJo by PJ Morton, released in 2019 off of the Paul album. I actually heard this song back in 2019 when it came out, and it sort of slipped my mind a little bit. So it just, resurfaced again. And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. They won all types of Grammys and, awards for that performance there. So PJ Morton featuring JoJo, Say So, is real soulful, is real good. So, yeah. Now, I hear you maintaining. I guess, at the end of the day, that's all that we can do, right? Just, take it one day at a time and keep it moving. I want to give a shout out to a few people who support the 411 podcast. Miss Keisha Reed, she has a business called A Wine Way of Life and A Way of Life. Y'all go ahead and support her and check her out for all of your astrology needs. She definitely will hook you up. CS Essentials, Leah, recording artist Donna Allen, thank you for coming through and showing love. Phil Province, I think you're getting ready to come on real soon. Danielle from Posh and Pretty Brow Bar, all the way from Texas. True Podcast. Chris Capri from Texas as well. We got Texas in the house. Sophie Davis, Lakeisha and Abundance Moon, and Chanel from Her Habits Boutique. So watch the replay from last night. Chanel definitely came on all the way from Canada. So peace, love, blessings to Canada. Definitely going through some weird times right now with the pandemic. But you want to learn about it. You want to learn about what's going on in Canada. You want to learn about her business first and foremost. Go ahead and check that replay from last night. So speaking of last night, I want to talk about the burning question that we spoke about. So have you ever felt uneasy about your spouse's circle of friends? And that uneasiness, I guess that intuition, that feeling that you felt whenever you were in a situation, how did it turn out for you? What was the outcome? I mean, after speaking to Chanel yesterday, we both come to the conclusion that when you get that feeling about something's not right, it's probably not right. So you ever felt uneasy about your spouse's circle of friends, or maybe a friend, and something just wasn't right? And if that's the case, what was the actual outcome of it? If you want to come on here on the 411 podcast, text me at 609-738-0611. Request me live on Instagram. Request me live on TikTok. Hey, what's going on? It's been a minute. since I spoke to you. How you doing? You busy tonight? Cause it's freestyle session, so I know you can't request me over there, but we can get you on the phone, or you can come over to Instagram. Mm, take care. So you ever felt uneasy about your spouse's circle of friends? You got that feeling that something wasn't right. How well did that situation go for you? I'm good. Love. What's going on? Welcome to the 411 podcast. So I got another question. So have you ever been in a relationship, in a situation? Have you ever been in it for so long that all of a sudden you started to walk around and feel like roommates? The spark wasn't there. If y'all want to say the love wasn't there, something wasn't there. But at the end of the day, y'all started to walk around and feel like roommates. Things wasn't right. These are all burning questions, freestyle sessions. So these are rhetorical questions to get you to think. So have you ever been in something for so long and all of a sudden you just started to walk around and realize, damn, all the love is gone. Something's not there. What used to be there is not there anymore. And now we walking around here feeling like we friends, like we best friends, like we roommates or something. And I know that your significant other is supposed to be your best friend or something like that. But you know what I mean. Y'all just really starting to feel like more friendship than anything romantic, anything like that going on. Has that ever happened to you? You've been in something for just so long. And then all of a sudden you wake up and you realize, damn, we walking around here like we roommates. We walking around here like, we best friends or something like that. There's no spark, there's no love. There might not even be any interest anymore. You staring at your friend. So I got something for y'all. How about being in a relationship with somebody who doesn't like your child? So you had a child from a previous relationship. Maybe even they had a child from a previous relationship. Maybe you're the person that don't like their child, but do you think that love like that could work? If y'all both are feeling each other right, but then there's a situation going on with the child, either the person that you're trying to date doesn't like your child or you don't like their child and something's just not right, something's not meshing. Do you think that you can still stick yourself in that type of situation? Hmm. Me personally, I don't feel that I could do that. And if there's anybody that don't like my kids or something like that, I think I probably will pretty much be done with the situation. Like that whole dynamic, that whole thing right there really has to be tight. really has to be, on point to make sure that there's no issues. And I don't think that I could be in a situation if I was with someone, I was dating them, and their child just wasn't vibing with me. They might be cutting me dirty looks, or I might be feeling a certain way about them, and we eyeing each other up like that. I don't think I could be in a type of environment like that. Something's not going to work right. And I believe that if you are a good parent, and I mean a real good parent, you're going to pick up on these types of things. You're going to see that something's not right. And what good parent are not going to side with their child? I mean, unless your child has behavior issues and there's always, a question of doubt, something's not right. But what person's really not going to side with their child? I think you must be a fool to think that whoever you're dating is going to pick you over their child. Now, there are some people out there who make that mistake and they actually do end up picking, you know, that love, that fling, that whatever, that fiance, that fake fiance. Sometimes it could be that fake husband, whatever, that fake wife. They end up making that poor decision of picking that person over their child. And from what I've seen, the outcome just doesn't end up working well. So, could you be in a situation? Could you be in a relationship knowing that you're not vibing with that person's child well? And or vice versa. You know, what if you're the person who just really doesn't like that child? It feels that something's weird, something's wrong. I don't know what's going on. It's all on the cards with Kathy. I know that anybody who I just think that your child came first. They were there first. If you've raised your child properly, you raised them with how to treat people with respect, and there were no issues. If your child starts to raise some eyebrows or some hair start to raise, like, I'm not really feeling this person, maybe you might want to listen to your child, and not saying that you got to go and press the gas and go with it full force, but just remember what your child said about the situation in the beginning. So if something breaks down, something's not right, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember. I did raise my child with respect. I did raise them to do things the right way. They're telling me that something's not right with this person. I might need to, pay close attention to that. But can you stay in a situation? Can you stay in a relationship with somebody who doesn't like your child? Or maybe you don't like their child. Can you get along with that situation? For me personally, I feel that that whole family dynamic thing has to stay on point. I was sitting here listening, somebody speak, and they were talking about how they had a fiance, and that the fiance, it's not his responsibility to take care of their children, of her children. And I was just sitting here thinking, like, man, I so disagree with that because if you're getting ready to, get married and become a unit and become one, why is it his not his responsibility? And if the shoe was on the other foot, why wouldn't it be her responsibility to take care of your children if you're trying to make a family, you're trying to make a unit out of something? So I think that's totally incorrect in my book as far as me. This is just my opinion. You do what you have to do. It is what it is. But if somebody's not going to be down for you and your children and treat them like 100% like they are for you, then you probably should not be trying to get wrapped up in that person. That person needs to be picking them kids up from school, need to be dropping them off, need to be so involved, need to be asking questions, need to be on point, wanting to know what's going on. It shouldn't be, oh no, these are my children, these are my kids, and I'm going to be the one to do everything. And then the other person just sits back and watches you be the parent. No, y'all need to learn how to do this thing together if you want to make this thing a whole, family unit. Just my opinion. That's all I could give you is my opinion. What's going on, Desi? If you want to come on the 411 podcast, you can text me at 609-738-0611, or you can request me live on Instagram, or you can request me live on TikTok. So, Desi, I don't know what's going on if you can request me live there if you want to, or you can text the phone number 609-738-0611. That's if you have an opportunity to. Oh, okay. You. I'm gonna call you in a minute. So now I have a question. So, you know any stories of where people were wrapped up in a relationship, everything was cool, everything was good, right? But then there was a crime involved, and either one took the rap for the other. So you were that so in love, right? That you decided to take the rap for somebody else. You know any situations like that where you had a clean record, they had a clean record, their life was good, everything was on point, and then somewhere along the lines, something got jacked up, somebody created some kind of crime, and just because y'all were together, you know, you so wrapped up, you so in love, you ended up taking a rap for somebody else, or somebody ended up taking a rap for you, or you know stories of this type of situation happening. I'm very curious to find out about this because a lot of times in these situations, whether it's a male and female, typically the female ends up taking a rap for something that the male did. So she ends up going to jail for it, or it ends up getting on her record versus the male. So we'll see what happens. Any stories of those? Let me know. Now I'm getting ready to reach out to Miss Desiree.
Hello.
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the 411 Freestyle Sessions.
Thank you. Hi, everybody out there.
Yeah, it's been a minute. How have you been?
I've been okay. I'm gonna be on your show anyway next week. So
I know, I know. So we get a little preview here, huh?
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Listen, I've been acting. I had to get myself in a way where I had to tell myself you need to get yourself together because I hadn't had some trigger points, and I always talk about anxiety and depression and PTSD. And my PTSD was in rare form. At first, I thought I would be able to be nowhere because I was ready to take people's heads off. But I done got myself together now.
Hold on 1 second. I can't even believe I just seen something. Hang on 1 minute. Be right back.
Okay.
I gotta check this out here. Hold up, y'all. Mm. I don't know what happened. Okay, well, apparently, I don't know if I said anything wrong. I don't believe I did. I was just doing burning questions. But anyway, so I had just got banned from TikTok. I don't know what happened. Did I say anything incorrect?
Just now?
I don't believe that I said anything wrong tonight.
Wait, though, did you just get banned just now? Like when I said something about mental health, or?
As you were coming on, it happened. Oh. The last burning question I asked was about somebody creating.
I'm sorry.
No,
I think we got like a last. I'm sorry, guys.
No, the last question that I asked was somebody taking a rap, creating a crime. And basically, because you wrapped up and you're in love with somebody, you end up taking a fall for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe they don't like me drinking wine. I don't know. Do people smoke weed on TikTok?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they do. Hell, if they can smoke weed, I could drink this wine. So I don't know what's going on. All right, so let's hit the reset button. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what questions. You asked me something, and then I'll try not to curse so you don't get banned nowhere.
Oh well, now it's fine.
Transparent.
Now, TikTok is the only thing that we got to be careful about because, but since they cut up anyway and they threw us off, who cares? It is what it is. Feel free to say whatever you want to say. Feel free to say whatever you want to say anyway, because if that's the case, then, I'm not going to have my guests be filtered because of one social media platform. That's not going to happen.
I appreciate that, but yeah, I respect your podcast, so I'm not gonna. I don't want to get you saying anything anywhere.
Well, then that's fine.
My,
I'll do all the cussing
really,
then. You don't have to.
I think you're really wrong, Larry. So
All right, I got my glass. Go ahead.
no, because people be like, "Oh, she's so kind, she's so sweet." Yeah, I am, but I have boundaries, and if you cross them, I'm real easy.
I hear you. Yeah, you have to have boundaries. You can't just let people run amok in your life, and when you do, then that's a recipe for disaster.
It is, it is. I always tell people, "Oh, she's always smiling." Yeah, don't let that smile fool you. Don't do that to yourself, because then everybody is on you. Don't do that to yourself. You do that to yourself. All right.
So, how you want me to just ask you some random questions, or you want to ask me some questions?
Ask me some questions.
So, well, let's go back to
I'm, try-
that.
I'm trying to get comfortable for next week.
Let's go back to that question that I asked before. Do you know anybody who has taken a rap for somebody that they were in love with? They took the fault for the crime. I don't know if that question got me kicked off, but as soon as I asked that question, apparently it got shut down.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one. I had already left, so I could text you. But I don't personally know anybody that took a
Hmm.
rap for somebody. Not that I'm thinking of like a relationship I haven't. Now we had some shady stuff in our family that went on that
Yeah.
people still don't know what happened. I mean, I can discuss a little bit of that. I don't want nobody to come get my blessings, but
Wait, you said you
I
don't. You said you don't want nobody to come do what?
get my blessings. Go get it. Yes, I thought.
I thought that's what you said. I just wanted to make sure.
I said it. I did. I said I was.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me a little bit, whatever you
Yeah,
can
so
tell.
it wasn't a couple, but we had so this is how you know how families are anyway. But there was a my uncle killed my cousin,
Mm.
and his brother was with him when it happened. So, and this happened like years ago. I was in high school when this happened, but nobody really knows like the truth of really what happened because everybody kept like changing the story that was actually there. Kept changing the story. Well, it was two uncles that was there. One that was on drugs, and then my other uncle who they said was selling drugs, and then the cousin who was on the drugs. So it was two. It was my uncle and my cousin who were both on drugs, and then my other uncle who was his brother that sold them. But the story was my uncle who was selling the drugs shot the cousin, but everybody else was convinced that the other brother did it if he took the fall for it. Like everybody thought that my cousin, my baby uncle took the fall because somehow his brothers convinced him since he was the youngest he wouldn't get much time.
Ugh.
That man, that man is still in there. This happened when I was in high school, y'all. I graduated in '95.
You see what I'm saying? And I was talking about that too because I've seen some TV shows where, um, what is that show called? I think I'm probably got it wrong, but I'm along this lines. But For the Love of My Man or something like that, or For My Man. Have you ever seen that show?
I know what you're talking about. I watched it a couple of times. I couldn't. It made my anxiety bad because I don't do well with people when somebody get ready to take it rap. Somebody like,
Yes.
why are
Yeah.
you doing all that? Because it's straight a lot. So I ain't gonna take the rap for nothing.
But with that show, like you said, that man is still in jail. These people, all of a sudden, because that's your man or your girl or whatever the case may be, they end up taking a rap for these people and ruin their lives and still end up being in jail, getting life for something, or ruining their record and can't even get a job because they took a rap for somebody else. That's craziness.
Right. Yeah, I can't see that. First of all, if I'm going to go somewhere, I got to be in prison, jail, wherever it is I got to be, it's going to be for my daughter. Because if I'm going to leave her back here to trust people to care for her, then it has to be something that's not about no nonsense. I understand that some people feel like, oh, that person loved me, that's all I know. But when you've been through stuff that somebody's been through, and a lot of people can really, y'all can agree to this. When you done been betrayed, lied to, and broke trust, not loyal, they not honest with you. When you done been through things like that, and then you get somebody in your life and you're like, oh, I think this person loved me, and then they want you to be a ride or die. Well, what exactly does that mean? What do I have to give up to you? Because at this moment, since there's so much betrayal there, it's like, I can't trust you. I'm trying to trust you. I'm trying to love you. I'm trying to trust you, but you out here doing shady stuff, and you ain't even thinking about my well-being or my kids. So I can't even trust you for that. You're making bad choices already.
I think that there's no love, there's no trust. You need to just, excuse me, if there's no trust and there's no love, you need to basically just shut that shit down. The minute that you get a sign that somebody is not right, you got that feeling that something just ain't right, and you see things or you might hear things, you might need to pay very close attention to that.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, can you be with somebody who doesn't like your child?
No.
Some of these people, they get in these little relationships, these little things or whatever, and they give their all, or they give their heart, or they give just a little bit too much to this person, during that little dating phase. And then all of a sudden, after you done got wrapped up with this person, you done, spent time in the bedroom with this person, now you want to go ahead and introduce them to your child. And then when you do that, it just ain't right. But I forgot. I've been making all these plans and I've been doing all these things with this person, but they're not really feeling my child. But I'm going to just go ahead and go along with the plan, and maybe it'll work out eventually in the future. Some people, their mind can get a little distorted like that. But I'm glad that you say no.
The thing though, like, I don't even have nothing behind, just no. I ain't even gonna think twice about it. I don't care how long I've been with you. Because if you've been fucking the funk that long, what is it that you're trying to get from me? Is gonna be my next question.
Now, what about this? What if you were dating somebody, right? And you went to go and meet their child, but their child didn't like you? What would you do? You just got this feeling like, ooh, I don't think their child likes me at all. This could be a problem in the future.
Okay, so I've had a situation like that before because I've dated older guys.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was younger, I dated, like in my 20s, I dated guys that were like in their 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So I dated a guy. He had his daughter could not stand me. The little girl, the little boy, he was really nice. But the little girl could not stand me. And I told her, I said, "Do you feel like I'm, taking away your dad?" Because she was like 4. So I asked her, I was like, "Do you feel like I'm taking away your dad? I'm taking away your space." And she said, "I just don't like you here." And my mom said she doesn't want you here.
Oh.
And so I talked to him about it, and I told him, I said,
that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, that stuff right there. Yeah.
So I told him, I said, "Your daughter's uncomfortable with me being here." I said, "But part of that is because of the mother." I said, "Do you set any boundaries with them? Do you say, hey, this is the person that I'm going to be with. She's not harming our kids or whatever." Do you say, keep that conversation to yourself, or talk to somebody else? Don't talk to the child about it. Don't turn the child against who I'm trying to be with. Don't use the child to try to keep me to be single or whatever. So we had a whole conversation. Now, I'm not going to go all the way into it because she actually did. The lady tried to fight me for no reason. Like, I'm not cheating. Y'all haven't been together in 3 years. So it's not me. I'm not cheating with him. You guys aren't together. But later on, I'm going to go ahead and tell the story. So keep the guys a little like I'm the crazy one, even though I am a little bit, but I'm not that crazy. So she was like, hey, I came over to pick up the keys. So I said, okay, I answered the door when she knocked. So I said, hello. She was like, hey, she's like, I'm here to pick up the keys. Why are you answering my door?
Oh.
I said, I'm not at your house. I said, but hold on for a minute. Let me, I'm going to call him Jacob. Let me get Jacob. So she said to me, to move out the way. Oh, okay.
What?
Back then, I wasn't as, I'm gonna use the word stable with my mental health, being able to control a couple of things as I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, I know how to shut off and be like, hey, I need some time to myself. I need to regroup. I need, Back then, I would put myself in situations when I felt like that, like, hey, I'm ready to play. But at that moment, I told myself, you're gonna fight this dude. You got a little kid at home yourself, but you about to fight over this dude. Do you really want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't control myself. Like, it was the disrespect for me. It wasn't even about the dude. And sometimes when that happens, people think it's about a guy. It was about the disrespect, the pushing the door open, the hitting me, like pushing me in my back. Like, it was the disrespect of it all.
Wait a minute. I must have missed that part. So she pushed a door and told you to get out the way and hit you.
She pushed the door on me, and then she put, like, how you take your hand and you have your fist balled up, but you hit the person with the fist face forward, not with the fist like you hitting somebody in their face, but like you pushing them in their back. It's that to me. And that's how the fight broke out. Like, it was just a disrespect. But everybody kept saying,
y'all actually started fighting?
We actually started fighting. Nobody's gonna put their hand on me, and I'm not gonna lay hands back. And I don't care what. I could be in peace and just got finished meditating. You put your hands on me. I don't care about it.
Wait, can you say it again for me, please? One more time. You said you could do what now? And go.
I could just got finished being meditating and like getting at peace. And somebody put their hands on me, I'm gonna put my hands back on them. I don't care. You're not gonna touch me. And they say, "Oh, she get peace now, so she ain't gonna do nothing to me." I'm gonna snatch you.
Can I just tell you that you make me feel so proud, because half the time I be feeling that I'm so aggressive, but I found somebody who is just as aggressive as I am. So I appreciate that.
I was being transparent on here. People sometimes they drag you for stuff like that, but it's me. It's who I am. And although I'm caring and I love helping people, you're not gonna just do me any kind of way. You just cannot. And one of those things is putting your hands on me. You're not gonna put your hands on me.
I can only imagine. People should know not to play with you, right? I can only imagine.
I don't know that people understand it. So sometimes I try to give people a little leeway. I always, like, if you ever hear me say, "You sure about this?" I'm giving right there to change their mind.
What's going on, Nene? How are you? Well, I had a guest on the other night. His name was Robert Stubblefield, and he said that his father went up to somebody and said, I'm probably not saying it the right way, but he said, "This is your first and final warning. Leave my kids alone." Like, you didn't even get no other warning. This is it. This is your first, and this is your final warning. Leave my kids alone. I thought that was like, I'm going to use that from now on. Mess with me if you want to, because guess what? The person that I am today, I only get to tell you once. Not the old me that used to, tell you over and over again, and I'm warning you about what's going to happen, and you keep playing games, and he gonna keep on doing whatever. It is what it is. And then all of a sudden, when I snap off on somebody, now all of a sudden it's a problem. He walked up to that man and said, "Listen, this is your first and this is your final warning." I like that.
I mean, at least he gave him a warning. Some people don't give you that.
Well, I got to tell you this story. He said that as a kid, he, he's a black man, but as a kid, he was made fun of, or people were talking about him and his brother. And this particular neighbor was calling them monkeys. And this particular neighbor was throwing bananas at the kids. So after the last time that he threw the bananas at him and his brother, he must have went and told the father. And then the father knocked on the door and said, "Didn't I tell you to leave my kids alone?" Because the first and final warning came way before this. So he had already got a first and final warning before. After that, he still want to call them monkeys and throw bananas at him. Well, he said that his father punched him, snatched him, and made him eat all them bananas. I lost it when I heard that. It's from Reading Between the Wines on Wednesday. So if y'all want to hear him tell the story, tell the story better than I can, go watch the replay from Wednesday. But I hollered when I heard that. A grown ass man. He made him eat them bananas.
Consequences. People don't expect to get consequences when they do stuff. But you know, if I know that I'm going to get consequences for my actions, then there is no way that I'm going to expect you not to have you. You're going to have consequences too. If I expect it out of myself, I expect it from you. Mm-hmm. You're going to have consequences. And that was the consequence of his actions right here.
I had asked the question of tell me a story about when your parents threw hands. At a young age, you remember your parents throwing hands and teaching you something. And that was his example.
Oh my God.
I gave my example when I was at an amusement park and we were just about to get on this roller coaster and this woman decided to jump in front of me and my mom. Well, my mom grabbed her and slapped her up a couple times. And they did this pushing back and forth, and then we ended up getting on a roller coaster. But that was my experience of that. And then, and then I shared it. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it was so funny because you were like, "Yeah, we ended up getting on a roller coaster, like ain't no problem."
Oh yeah. We got on after my mom slapped her up. We got on a roller coaster, right? And then afterwards, after we get off, the person's gonna be like, "Is everything okay? Do you need help?" And my mom was like, "Nope," and we kept on walking. You gonna ask after the fact. You didn't ask when both of them were carrying on. You want to wait till we get on a roller coaster and then get off to turn around and ask us if we needed help.
Mm. They probably did not. Your mama probably had a demeanor about it. They were like, "Yeah, she got it." She got it. She got it under control.
Now, do you have any experiences of when you went off in public when it has something to do with standing up for your child or something like that?
Because I just put this up on TikTok. Was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday. But another one was talking about taking up for your kids. Mm-hmm. And I had a post that I put up on Facebook probably about a week ago. And I was talking, it might have been a little longer, and I was talking about asking parents, please teach your children about the differences between kids that everybody's not the same, especially like when you have a special child. Because sometimes, the kids, they like pick or play like that. Some parents just ain't down with it. We just not down with you talking about our baby.
No, I agree.
I mean, even if even if your child don't have special needs, you're still not gonna be playing. But it's a certain kind of emotion behind a parent who got a kid that they've been struggling with, staying up with late at night, trying to make sure they're good, and a child gonna come and think they're gonna come and try to hurt the baby.
That's not gonna.
So I have spoken about it. I was like, I'll ride for mine. I won't hit your child, but I want you to go get your parents. So they finna get this work.
Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever been face to face with a child, where your mom at, where your dad at? You need to go get them.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I told you. Listen, before I started my healing journey, it started a while ago, but I got really serious about 4 years ago, where I was like, I need to learn how to keep my hands to myself. So, I'm making it sound like I just go around hitting people. I don't. It's just that people be triggering me, and I had to figure out what my trigger point was so I could control it. That was the issue. Mm-hmm. Before I learned all of that, because like I said, I always discuss about me having PTSD and my anxiety and stuff. But before all of that, if somebody did something, I was owning it right away. I had a situation where I did have to tell the parent came to fight me. We was actually up, and I just put this on TikTok too. We was up at UNC Chapel Hill, and we were there for a doctor's appointment. And I accidentally. So they have these heavy doors that you got to come out of sometimes to get to.
I don't know why I feel like laughing now. I don't even know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
But usually when I come out, so I'm heavy set. So when I come out, I usually bump the door with my butt to push out because I got her in a wheelchair. But that day, I just so happened to use my arm to push and then push with one arm and push the wheelchair with the other. So I didn't push the door open hard, thankfully, but it was a little kid that was back there playing, and the door was solid. So you couldn't see. I didn't know nobody was back there, but it's just that I took my time going out that day, which it had to have been done. Usually I go in backwards. So when I did it, the door hit the child. Where the mom...
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were gonna
Hello?
say that, but go ahead.
Yeah, it did. The door did, but we didn't know the key was back there because it says clearly keep this door shut and do not play in front of it. So, you really wouldn't see nobody behind it, but I digress. So I looked down and said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," because I didn't know that the child was back there. Well, here she come running with her loud self. I know the H you didn't. I know the F you didn't. You didn't see my child back there. And I was about to turn around to apologize to her too, to say, "I'm sorry, I need the child because it's just me. If I did something, even though I don't feel like it was my fault, but she's been back there, you should have been watching your kid.
Wait,
I'm still gonna apologize. I'm still gonna do." But
let,
my lower self tapped me on my shoulder, and when I looked at her, she was looking at me like she wanted to jump through me. So I was like, "Oh, she ain't getting no apology. I already apologized to the kid anyway. That's the most important person at this moment. So I ain't even finished connecting."
mm-hmm.
So she said, "You didn't see my kid? You didn't see my kid?" And my baby is like me, she literal. And she don't talk a lot, but she can say certain stuff. She can say yes, no, hi, certain things she can say.
Mm-hmm.
So when she asked, she said, "You didn't see my kid standing back there?" My baby said no. And we didn't.
Mm-mm.
And she asked my baby who the F she was talking to. She said
What?
nothing about her being in a wheelchair, that she would beat her ass.
Oh, I can't hear this conversation. But go ahead. So what happened
Yep.
now?
That fight broke out. That's how it broke out. Because at that moment, you ain't got to say nothing else. You say less, actually. Say
Mm.
less.
Mm-mm-mm. I knew that that
And
was gonna. I knew that that was gonna happen. But you want to know what I have to say? She should have been watching her child, and her child shouldn't have been playing by the door.
no, and come to find out, she was actually out there. She was acting so ugly that I think the parents were so much on my side because of the fact of how she was acting. They said that when the police came, they said that she was picking at people when they came by, people's kids. He was talking loud on the phone.
Mm-mm.
And like once the police got there, the parents were like, "No, it's not her fault. This is what happened." I said, "Them parents took up for me because I did what they wanted to do. I just didn't know about it."
Oh man, you make me laugh. This
That's the
this.
only reason. I know that's what it was.
Oh man.
But I hated to have to do her like that. But then when they were so used to seeing us with Oriana go up there a lot that they only sent one police officer, not knowing. And some of the male parents had to help him with me and her because I had her in like a death grip. You know how you grab somebody and you hold like a python with you?
Mm-hmm.
I had her like that. So when they picked me up, she came with us.
Mm-mm.
She said,
You,
"Please let her go. You're about to kill her." And all I could think in my mind was, "You're about to leave your daughter. You really want to leave your daughter behind." But then I was so angry because she had done, I didn't know what to do with my feelings because I was so angry because she had done threatened my baby like that. My feelings was all over the place, Larry. And I just remember telling them, "Well, she's in the right place. We're at the hospital." Like, that's all I knew to say. I didn't know nothing to say. I didn't know to let her go. I didn't know none of that. And I
Mm-mm-mm.
think that's why I'm so like adamant now about advocating for people that got PTSD and people that been through things and they got depression and stuff. Because a lot of times, a lot of us we're walking around here trying not to hurt nobody because we're going through so much, and then we don't always have a lot of help because people don't understand. The minute you say, "Oh, I got mental health issues," or "I have PTSD," or "I have this," they like, "Oh, that person's dangerous." We ain't dangerous unless you force us to be.
Here's the thing that cracked me up too. Half of the people walk around here acting like ain't nothing wrong with them and like they're on top and they're on, no issues. 50% of us suffer from mental illness, depression, and if you don't, you will at one point in your lifetime. That's just basically, reality. So for someone to sit here and say, "Oh, this person got mental illness or they're nuts or they're this or they're that," to sit there and have somebody point fingers and laugh and carry on like that, they're basically just talking about themselves. So I won't even worry about that because if 50% of the entire world is at some point going to suffer from some sort of depression or mental illness in their lifetime, who the hell are you to sit here and tell me anything about me? That's what
They
I
do though.
that's
People,
what I say. And if you notice somebody has a problem, let's just keep it real. Okay, so this person has mental illness, this person has a problem. What type of person would you be to continue to add fuel to the fire? Like you need to basically say, hey, I want to lend out my hand and I want to help pull you up and I want to try to help, help you get some help. But you are going to sit here and try to point fingers or ridicule somebody or push somebody down or degrade them. You're not actually helping the situation at all. So by those actions, if somebody was to turn around and open up a can of whoop ass on you, it is what it is. Like you have no business being in that type of position where you think you want to talk ill will of somebody like that. So not saying that it's right, and I'm not here to promote violence or anything, but
It's not right. It's absolutely, and I take accountability for the things, the reactions that I do have. Like people be like, oh, well, what happened? Well, I did this. This was my response to that, and I tell people in a minute, I know I did not respond right to that, but that the few times since I've been healing, I'm not going to talk about beyond the healing because that's also a myth.
mm-hmm.
But I got it in my blog. I blog about it, about how I've changed and how I've learned to find my trigger point and to make sure that I'm not in places that trigger me. So sometimes certain places trigger you too. So I had to learn where my trigger points were, so I could be healthier mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, sometimes even being is like talking to somebody, if somebody got a closed mind, they're just not going to listen anyway. And it's not like people out here just want to be fighting. It's just that the situation that I'm talking about, these people provoke this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go mental health against you and say, oh my God. Instead of them saying this person did this and threaten her child, they say, oh my God, she got PTSD. Look what she did. Yeah, but how did I get to that point?
Right. I was always told that I like to fight. Oh, you like to fight. You like to do this. You like to do that. And I used to get so angry, like, nah, I don't. But if you keep on talking to me like that, I'm going to show you something. Like, that's the type of mentality I used to have. But I had to basically get away from that type of environment because you ain't going to sit here and keep trying to tell me every single day that I'm something that I know I'm not. Like, yeah, you like to fight. You like to be angry. You like to do this. You like to do that. No, I really don't. But by you constantly saying that stuff in my ear like that, and I'm already going through something right now. And because you're constantly in my ear telling me this stuff, I already don't feel good about going upside your head 1,000 times, but keep it up. I got 1,000 more for you. Like that's the type of attitude I used to have, but then I had to break away from that type of situation. And once I was able to break free, then I was able to learn how to say, okay, listen, if somebody ever comes across me with any type of negative energy, before they even get a chance to even open up their mouth to say anything, I'm already going and I'm already away from that situation. But sometimes you live and you learn, right?
You do. You really do. Like, I'm telling you these stories that happened in the past, but like now, I haven't had too many altercations. I've had a few, but they've all been verbal. They haven't been, hands-on. Wait. Well, I had 2 hands-on in the last 4 years. That's good for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for me because I know that I'm healing and I'm learning to grow, and I'm responding to things a little bit more maturity. Now, don't get me wrong. I still don't always respond in the right way, but I always take accountability for my actions.
So
I don't blame somebody else, even if somebody else started it, you triggered me. I'm not gonna say, well, I acted like this because you did this. No, I acted like that because that's the way I wanted to act at that time because you triggered.
Well, my trigger point usually comes, and then all of a sudden my mouth starts to become different. Like I will cut you down a size by the words that come out of my mouth, and then that's where usually the fights start. Because I'm not just gonna walk up and just be wanting to start fighting people. That's just not who I am. But I'm definitely gonna tell you about yourself, and you ain't gonna like it. And I was always told that the truth hurts. So yeah, you can get upset all you want. Obviously, I'm hitting some sort of points here to where you want to get excited and jump up and have a problem. So that's where some of the stuff happens, and then it's always the back and forth. And I used to be the person who always had to have the last word and always had to say this and say that. So I came up with this little saying, this little quote of mine is that what you can get upset all you want because my message was very clear. You were fucked up. You did this. This wasn't right. You and I both know that this wasn't right. So the message that I gave you was absolutely clear. It was not right. But my delivery was horrible. How I gave it to you was horrible. Some people need shit sugar coated. and they don't like when you just come to them and tell them like it is. I'm the type of person that listen. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you exactly all the way like it is. I ain't gonna try to baby nothing. I ain't gonna type it sugarcoat nothing, and I would just come off, real strong and real aggressive. But I had to understand and know that you know what, my message was very clear. Like you ain't wrong. You ever get in that head game where all of a sudden you get into a situation and you go back and forth and then you apologizing for something that you shouldn't be apologizing for in the first place? Like,
I
why am
only
I apologizing?
four I have.
Yeah, like why am I apologizing? This was wrong. You the one who came in at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, what I'm sitting here apologizing for? Oh, I'm apologizing because my delivery was horrible. The message was clear. Like, nah, you can't come in and you can't do that type of stuff. But the way I delivered it to you was wrong. And because I delivered it to you a certain way and I was a little gruff and I was a little this or that, now all of a sudden you want to bite back and have an issue because you ain't like the way I gave it to you. So it's this whole roundabout thing. People who are evil, people who are wrong, they want you to try to, cater to them and baby them and, pacify the situation. Message was clear, delivery was horrible. Whenever y'all got that situation where you know something ain't right, just dismiss these people and be done. You shouldn't have to explain anything to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have to say. My message was clear, but my delivery was absolutely horrible. I'm so sorry that I had to cuss you out. I'm so sorry that I couldn't have told you nicely that you were full of shit, and you will always be full of shit. It is what it is. Once I knew you were full of shit from day one, I should have just pieced out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, some people don't understand a kind voice because I told people before don't do that. But the minute I cursed at them, they understood everything I said.
Oh man, you are something else. But I'm so glad that you came on in here tonight. Now, I got a question for you. Have you
Uh-huh.
ever been in a relationship or been in a situation, something just so long that all of a sudden you woke up and started feeling like y'all were roommates or something?
No.
Well,
The only reason I say no is because even the guy that I had allowed to move in with me when I lived in Georgia,
mm-hmm.
um, even with then he wasn't there long. Like I'm a low tolerant person. If you do something and I've already spoken to you about it and you do it anyway, I'm one of those people that I feel like if you get it anyway, you need to do it and you're not interested in being with me. So I'm very low tolerant. But with him, I let him stay for a little bit because he didn't have anywhere to go once I got ready to put him out. He had somewhere to go prior to his moving in. But after we moved together, he didn't have anywhere to go. He would have to get his own place. So I was a little bit more tolerant with him. But he started dating a lady at his job and said it was his long lost sister.
While he was wait a minute, while he was staying with you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna, because we ain't got long, so I'm not even gonna go into that. I'm just gonna give you the short version of it because he told a whole lot. It was a whole lot. And I'm talking about he had everything down to the fact of how they met because he was adopted. So he was able to use the fact that was his long lost sister because he was adopted. But my energy had already said he lying. I just let it keep doing. And then when I finally, go ahead.
No, you already know it. You already know when somebody ain't telling the truth. You feel it.
Yeah, so I said, how dare he try to play me like that? And I was like, he in danger because, like, again, back then I was really bad with my PTSD. I was like, look, I know you've been lying. You're gonna have to find somewhere else to go. This is just what you're gonna have to do. But this is what I found. I found in that, in him doing that, and me realizing that people are gonna treat you any kind of way, or they're gonna, you allow them to.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he stayed there, didn't want to pay no rent, and I told him, I said, you can't stay here and not pay rent. You pay rent where you live. You live in your own place. You pay rent there. You have to pay rent here. Mm-hmm. And his reasoning behind that was, well, that was a house. This is an apartment. No, absolutely not. There's no difference between where you lay your head. It's a home.
Yeah, you better say
it's shelter. Mm-hmm. It's shelter. But we did for a couple of months, Larry, where we just wasn't saying much to each other. And I just was like, he gonna have to go. He can't stay no longer. And I finally just told him that he had. But he was so mad when I told him that he had to leave. He stole the keys to the door. I had to get the doors locked. He came back in there to get stuff. It was my item. He came back in there to get because he knew it was something that I loved. It was my grandmother had gave me this boom box. He came back in there to get that boom box because he felt like if he took that, I would let him back in.
Yeah, yeah.
I carried back then, and when he came in my door, he almost lost himself. But I was like, you stole the key. You came back in here. I already put you out. Do you know that this is dangerous for you? That I could have hurt you. I could have harmed you if they told them that you broke in because you did, even though you did. Because I told you to get out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had to get my life changed because of that. And meanwhile, the 3 months that we were together, longer than that, but the 3 months that we lived together, it was just like we didn't know each other. It was just like nothing. It was like as soon as we moved in, he changed. It was like he thought, I'm gonna be able to do whatever I want.
That's what typically happens. They're like, yeah, I got you now. I could go ahead and do what I want to do. That's what
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If we're moving in together, I expect for it. I don't mind going if somebody say, okay, you pay the rent, I do this, I'll do all of this stuff if you do this. Mm-hmm. Now I can agree to something like that, but I'm not gonna agree to I'm be doing everything and then you're not doing nothing and you ain't cleaning up and you're not helping around the house. Like, with my daughter and stuff, you ain't doing nothing. Nah, mister, you doing more than this when you live in your own place.
Oh man. Well, I think
he was.
You said what now?
Like, I think he was about to get put out of his own place. You know how sometimes we don't know what's going on behind what they got going on. Mm-hmm. And I think he just was looking for a place to go. I don't have no proof of that, but my I swear I feel like he did because how he acted. Now if I'm talking about it, I still feel like he did. I digress. I'm done.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And what day are you coming on the 411? Thursday. Okay. Well, we will definitely continue our discussion. I just want to say thank you so much. You were like a perfect guest, a sliding guest for all of these questions tonight. This was amazing. I appreciate you.
I had to breathe when I told you to hold on. I had to go get my anxiety together. You know how I
did. Well, we got a couple things coming up in the future, so this is going to be great. So, Miss Desiree Covington, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. You guys have a good night.
Good night. Good night. Well, there y'all have it. That was Miss Desiree, and she's going to come back on the 411 podcast this week here, Thursday. So, Miss Jetta says, I was nice about it. I got some tea earlier today. I wish I would have chopped his head off. Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes we just let things go. The last time I thought I wanted to really, go in on somebody, I had to sit and I had to pray. And I prayed and I prayed. And because I didn't go off on that person, the next time that I saw them, oh man, they were so nice to me. I said, oh, okay. Because sometimes we don't have to these battles. We feel that we got to fight them and we feel like we got to get in the way of it. But when we actually sit back and, for me, learn how to shut my mouth and not always have to go off on somebody, the results are far more better than what I could have handled it. So, it's happened to me quite often. Now that I've changed, my whole demeanor, sometimes people take my kindness for a weakness. Every now and then again, I slip up, A couple weeks ago, I probably did curse somebody out. They probably needed it. But the funny thing about it is that I don't put too much time and energy into it. Like, I won't get angry to where, you see the physical aspect of me upset because you used to see the physical aspect of me. I'm just sitting here telling you via text message how I feel. And however you receive that is how you receive it. I'm on the other end laughing because I don't let that shit bother me because you're no longer able to disturb this energy going on here. So I was just sitting there texting, telling people how they are, full of shit. And I don't believe it. It is what it is. I heard this. I heard it. I seen the signs, this, that, and the other. But I've watched people explode by some of the things that I say. And if you got to get upset about it to where you want to lose your mind and have a nervous breakdown, obviously there's some truth behind it. So I'm learning that my delivery, like I said, my message was clear. I'm gonna still tell you the truth and tell you how it is. Like that part, I'm never gonna apologize for keeping it real and telling you the truth. But the way I deliver it to you, I need to work on that a little bit. So yeah, my message was clear, but my delivery was horrible. So when I know that back in the day my message was very clear, like you were what you were, and you were what you were, and you are what you are, and at the end of the day, at the path you're going down, we already know that you ain't gonna be shit today or tomorrow anyway. So we already know that. But how I give it to you, I'm gonna have to give it to you a little way. You want to be babied a little bit. You want me to let you know that you ain't worth nothing and you ain't gonna be nothing headed down this path. All right, we can go ahead and play this game. You know, message was clear, but delivery was horrible. So Jetta says he brought the petty back out. I haven't said nothing yet. I can't wait to see his reaction when it blows up in his face. Yeah, I hear you. I was just there a couple weeks ago. Like I said, I was just texting. Like, I'm not gonna get angry. I'm not gonna get angry. I'm not gonna let you see any type of frustration from me at all. Bottom line, end of story, you need to leave. You are full of shit. I saw this. You didn't see that I saw this because I have somebody looking out for me and I understand and I know who I am today. By the way, please delete this number so never call me again. You know what I'm saying? But with a smile on my face because once you know who you are, you no longer have to go back and forth with people like that. It is what it is. You can tell people that you are full of shit with a smile on your face. Message was clear, but delivery was horrible. So I'm gonna still make sure my message is clear, but I'm gonna work on that delivery. Nah, we good. No, no thanks. You have a. I remember one time somebody told me everything they wanted to tell me about myself, and I just responded back with thank you, thank you. You're this, you're that. You did this, you're that. You know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for telling me about myself. Thank you so much. Somebody else gonna sit here and try to tell you about who you are, like they are inside of you and they know who you are. If anybody sits here and tries to tell you about themselves like they know how you feel on the inside, you need to stay far away from that person because now they trying to imitate God now. Oh, you trying to tell me and you trying to know, you trying to dig deep inside of me to tell me and know how I feel? Or you gonna tell me how I feel about what's going on inside of me? We got a little problem here. You don't feel that way. You ain't this, you ain't that. Really? You gonna tell me how I feel about myself on the inside? We got a problem. You ever get in that situation with somebody? All right. Thank you all so much for joining in. Miss Desiree, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Jetta, thank you so much for all of your insight as well. People out there, I can't really see you, but if you were on Facebook, if you were on, well, TikTok did get shut down, but thank you for Desiree for coming on through. But if you were on Facebook, if you were on YouTube, Twitter, D Live, Twitch, drop it in the comments. You watching a replay, let me know what's going on, where you're coming from. Definitely appreciate that. Tomorrow we have Fab Personal Growth and Development coming in. And again, if you'd like to support the 401 podcast or Reading Between the Wines, go ahead and click that link above all of my social media platforms and go inside of Shop Black Diamond. Anything that you purchase will help support the 401 podcast and Reading Between the Wines. And I just want to say thank you so much to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for allowing me to give you the 401 podcast one more time in life. And definitely, with all of these topics going on, I definitely have to say thank you for helping me get my mind right and helping me get on, the path that I am today, because I'm definitely not the man that I was yesterday. So thank you so much for helping me and delivering me from all of that chaos, all of that nonsense, all of that drama. And man, Desiree, thank you so much as well. Sometimes when you can converse with like minded people, you can understand and the journey that you've been on, and that just gives you hope and that gives you proof and it gives you everything that you need to know that you are moving in the right direction because you have like-minded people who have been through some of the same stuff that you've been through, and it helps you go on with your journey. The problem is when you get wrapped up and you get all so consumed with people who are not on the same level about you, and somehow it gets all twisted and somehow it's all jacked up, and people are trying to tell you about themselves when these are the same people that don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, but they're going to try to turn around and tell you about who you are. Don't ever let anybody tell you who you are. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that I had. I got so messed up because I allowed people to sit here and get in my ear and tell me who I am. And I actually believed it. You believe in you. Don't let nobody tell you anything about themselves. The same person that's trying to tell you something about yourself doesn't even have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. And I'm not even talking about financial stuff or materialistic things. I'm talking about some intellectual things. I'm talking about some mental things. These are the same MFers that don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, and they're going to try to fake the funk and tell you about you. Don't let people do that to you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're going through. Don't let anybody sit here and tell you about who you are. They ain't inside of you. And any person that want to sit here and say, "Oh, I know how you feel," really, you know how I feel. You inside of me, and you know how I feel. You trying to act like you trying to imitate God, and you are somebody that I don't even need around me. That you trying to tell me you know how I feel on the inside. You don't feel that way. You don't this. You don't that. Whatever. Done with all of that. Freestyle session, y'all. Good night. See you tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Fab Personal Growth and Development. Thank you so much. Take care, y'all. Have a good night.